You know, it's not like I tried to be unfair to this thing. No, really, if this was a steadfast guy, I would be giving you all sorts of cool reads, but Steadfast Sky is different from this in that Steadfast Sky is original. This is not. This is just Impel Down with ponies. There's nothing unique about it, nothing different, just a pony reference or two. I went in trying to like this, really. But nope. I had to sit through all of Impel Down. Again. Well, let's get to it. My Little Pirates, Luffy's Adventures in Equestria by Full Metal Pony Alliance. Enjoy. Loud slurps and crunches and bells is emanated through level 0.5. I think you know where this is going. Tender tastes and prize, and heck, even if vodka were dwarfed by the sheer amount of food shoveled into the chamber at the same rate, the only reason all of the level wasn't gaping at the moment was whether to fetch more food. Yeah, guess what? Luffy's busy eating, of course. He's busy chowing down. He's smutzing, and everybody's shocked by this. They're eating. I can guarantee you that the line, "Can we call him a pony anymore?" was probably ripped straight from the manga, guys. I'm probably just going to start summarizing everything because I don't think you guys want to sit through an audiobook of Impel Down. I don't think you guys want to sit through just Impel Down again. So I'm probably going to just shorthand this, okay? Because the sooner I get through this, the sooner I get to the Marineford War, and I've actually done a little reading ahead. That's actually got something new and exciting, but we gotta get through this first. So, yeah, Luffy does his best. He eats, and Luna points out that Bond's been doing his best to stay with Luffy by his side. And everybody was cheering. The main six are their usual useless selves. Luffy thanks everybody and proceeds to cheer, and everyone cheers at this very idea that Luffy's okay. He even gets to talk to Iva, and this is where Dragon equals Luffy's dad. And of course, Luffy forgets that he's not supposed to tell anybody that Luffy, his father, is in fact Dragon. Most wanted man out there. Oh, and Garp just smiles up a storm, thinking of how cool his son is. Even though he wanted his son to be a Marine, he probably really loves the fact that his son's awesome. Meanwhile, Hannibal is doing his usual Vice Warden thing. It's just keeping an eye on all the guards, and my Google is messing up on me. No, really, I would cut that out, but I don't think any of you care. Iva starts talking about how Dragon won't let Ace die, and starts figuring out that maybe it's now a good time to go on and do what he does best. He even gives Luffy a pair of wings thanks to the power of his horn fruit. Was a lot easier than giving Twilight wings. He proceeds to move on through the level, almost dousing some poison joke. But sadly, at one point he hits it, and come to find out, since he's got immunity to all sorts of poisons, he's now got poison joke immunity. They soon make their way down to level 6 and find out that, yes, Ace has been taken upstairs and has been sent out to his execution. But when you know it, they meet up with Jinbei. However, they're too late. That's when the elevator goes up. This is also when we find out that Inuzuma's devil fruit allows him to use the Stiff ability, which allows him to cut anything, which is actually a pretty dang cool ability. Well, when you know it, Luffy turns around and meets up with Crocodile! Crocodile's impressed that Luffy has gotten this far and that the war is going on, and he's also kind of enjoying about the idea that the war will also finally give him a chance to kill Whitebeard. Of course, he wants Luffy to free him, but Luffy does the smart thing, for once, and tells Crocodile X-Day on the escape A. Everybody asks who he is, and Luffy points out that Crocodile is probably the best villain of all of One Piece. What? He is? Every anime's got that villain that, you register all the other saga villains to. Crocodile is One Piece's. Seriously. I think only maybe Don Flamingo comes close to matching Crocodile. And Iva tries to convince Crocodile to work with Luffy. I would like to remind Iva that if Crocodile was at full strength, he would turn poor Iva into a skinny bitch. Crocodile first refuses, Jinbei begs, and he also asks Luffy to take him with him because, hey, Jinbei's a pretty nice guy. Jinbei's also awesome! And who else should ask to join Luffy in the adventure of a lifetime to stop Ace from dying? Why, it's Queen Chrysalis! Yes, it is Queen Chrysalis. Putting in there. In jail. Sentenced to slowly starve to death. Again, I am asking the big question of how did Celestia fight Chrysalis? I mean, I know how Celestia was able to take down the entire Changeling army, but how did Celestia find Chrysalis? Why did Celestia do this to an evil being? Oh, Twilight, this is sad, but this is sadistic! And the only way that they'll let Chrysalis go is if C agrees to leave Equestria alone. C agrees. You are an idiot. I'm with Twilight in this, Luffy is an idiot. But hey, what can you do? They're all desperate. So Luffy gives a little love energy, just weakens him a little bit, but it creates this Chrysalis' strength beyond normal means. And he proceeds to ready to escape the chapter. Next chapter. Next chapter, Riot. So, okay, so after this, the guard is starting to feel a fresh wave of smoke as he tries to look in the gas, and that is when he starts feeling the furs start rising up and starts seeing yellow talons out of a nearby cell. And who should it be but the former head jailer of Impel Down, Shiru of the Rain. So called because he likes to make it rain blood. Yep, and whoever lets him out is going to die. But we move on from this, and we go on to the team starts breaking out, and everybody starts leaving. Chrysalis is riding by Luffy's side. Sadly, she's a little upset that Iva's taking the form of a changeling queen, and is even calling her an imposter, and is also calling Bon Clay an imposter. And is desperate to get back to her team. However, everybody starts running through to the jail cell. Everybody's doing their cool moves, start bashing, and they make their way up to level 4, start ranking their level 4. Luffy does some more attacks, everybody starts striking in. Meanwhile, back on level 2, they encounter a few locked doors, back with Bucky and Mr. 3. I want to say Trixie's there, but I'm not completely sure because, considering how this fanfic's been going, I'm not even sure she's there. I think, the author might have lost her at one point. Meanwhile, Crocodile fights Mr. 1 and decides to free him, and everybody continues on their run to the front of the jail cell, even earning Mr. 1 as a team member now that they go. Hannibal, meanwhile, is trying his best to keep everything down, and trying to keep everything going, and who wouldn't you know it, in comes Blackbeard! You might be a little curious as to what Blackbeard looks into this universe. Well, I would, but I don't know how much effect Blackbeard's going to have on the plot, but if you really, really have to know, Blackbeard looks like Sabra. Bing! Obvious choice is obvious. There. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, moving on to the next chapter, Desire and Devotion. Meanwhile, Hannibal has been alerted that, yes, Blackbeard has arrived and is messing everybody's shit up. And everybody screams in pain and agony and starts yelling in pain. Meanwhile, Magellan is realizing that his whole entire rule is starting to fall down to pieces. Meanwhile, we see Shiru doing his thing, and I think Shiru is a Griffin. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. Shiru is actually, for some odd reason, a Draconic Quest. I say, we're just picking these bodies at random, aren't we? Meanwhile, Luffy and the others continue running through hell, taking out guys, beating them up. Chrysalis has disappeared temporarily. And that is when they meet up with some Sailor Beasts! Being led by the cutie known as Sadie. God, I wish we had seen more of her. Well, the Sailor Beasts are a bunch of monsters that showed up at one point and impelled down to try to stop Luffy and the others. Not really important to the story, so moving on. Jinbei and the others get ready to fight and start taking on everybody. It's a classical battle. Meanwhile, Chrysalis rejoins the fight, proceeds to help out, taking everybody in. Sadie is a little upset that, yes, her Jailer Beast got owned. But at one point, Chrysalis does get a little bit weaker, so of course, Iva tree charges her and proceeds to go through, and then Luffy meets up with Hannibal. Hannibal tries his best to take him on, but you all know Luffy. You know where this is going. Luffy proceeds to own and beat the living utter snot out Hannibal. Poor Hannibal. Well, at least he becomes the warning later on and 2 years later. And thus, with a little bit extra beatdown, the others proceed to continue moving their way up towards the next level. That's when they all meet up with Blackbeard! Luffy also meets up with Blackbeard, and is a little bit miffed. Wouldn't you be? You just met the guy who has committed 2 sins to the One Piece universe. Number 1 is the guy responsible for causing this whole entire mess and kidnapping Ace. Number 2, being the most overused villain in all of One Piece fanficdom! Seriously, I cannot begin to tell you how many times I'm reading an epic One Piece fic. It's all down to the wire. And then who pops up at the end to spoil my day? Blackbeard! My god, I think he gets more overused than Nightmare Moon. But at least everybody, when they do Nightmare Moon, actually has some semblance of originality. At least when they do Nightmare Moon, is a different form of her every time I see her, and I feel also getting a chance to see her. Blackbeard, they always pull the same crap every single time. But that's where we end this chapter. Next scene. And who should join him but Blackbeard's crew? And in case you're wondering who's who, the big rotund guy that has the luchador mask, yeah, he's now a dragon. Was it that? The other sniper guy, can't remember his name right now, nor do I care. He's a griffin. Doc Hugh is a gray unicorn riding on top of a pale bear, being very, very, very sick. There was another guy. The guy who's a cool tap dancer. He's there too. He's a ghastly unicorn. Blackbeard, meanwhile, still reminds us all that he is very, 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 very sexist and all-inclusive. I mean, seriously, he only gets a female member of his crew after the Impel Down arc. Luffy has 2 hot chicks following him. No, 3. I'm sorry. 3. Yeah. Nami, Robin, Vivi. Oh. My brain, exactly. You know, he doesn't have any other females besides that. He's got a very, very fat female. That's Blackbeard's one sole female person on that crew. Blackbeard, you are the most sexist, racist, and specious bad guy I've ever met in my entire life. Jeez. Even Crocodile got a black guy. You. All of your men are nothing but white men. Except for that one fat female chick. You, sir, will hear from the NAACP, the Female League, and the Right to Protect All Zone Users. The RACZP. You're all going to hear from me about this. We will form protests. Our words are weapons.
What about the NAAFP?
The NAASP?
FP.
FP?
National Association of Fish People.
You're right, them too! Why did I also think you were going to say Faunus?
Them too.
You, sir, are on my list. What was I? Oh, yes. They all proceed to are a little happy to actually see Luffy, but Luffy realizes that, yeah, he should be fighting Blackbeard, but it's not the end of the manga yet, and I think even Matt Murdock can see that, yes, Luffy and Blackbeard are going to have an epic showdown near the end of the manga. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. Even the people who don't read the manga can hear a description of Blackbeard and go, he sounds like the final boss. As a matter of fact, it's so obvious that Blackbeard is the final boss right now. I'm putting money that Oda is going to surprise all of us. That somehow, just when it looks like Luffy's ready to face down Blackbeard, his crewmates are fighting against Blackbeard's crew, Luffy is going to stare down Blackbeard. Blackbeard's going to stare down Luffy. When suddenly, Oda cuts to the Death Note universe. Light Yagami is reading the One Piece manga. Is growling that Oda is doing something so obvious. And he goes, no, F that. Then Light Yagami picks up the Death Note, writes down Blackbeard death, and then writes down very Q the next page. And then, the next page, Blackbeard has a sudden heart attack and dies. Leaving room for the true final boss of this story, Croc Buggy. Yeah. That would be the biggest surprising twist of all. That Buggy and Luffy have the ultimate battle of ultimate destiny. Well, even despite of that, Luffy tries to fight Blackbeard. Blackbeard tries to fight Luffy. Luffy finds out that Blackbeard's Black Hole Devil Fruit powers apparently nulls Devil Fruit powers. Which means that Blackbeard's a Haxor. Hacks! I'm calling hacks on Blackbeard's powers! Which means Luffy's ace in the hole is not going to work. Which also means that Luffy's going to have one hell of a time to fight. But now that he knows hockey, well, then Chrysalis joins in and tries to handle Blackbeard. It fails. And wait, you know it, that's when Magellan starts showing up, making a slow moving up. And personally, I kind of want this to be changed so Blackbeard can take out Magellan. Oh, I don't have a problem with Magellan. I just want him to take down Magellan. Well, they proceed to continue moving on, and Magellan, of course, finds out that all communication is being lost. So, there you have it. Blackbeard facing down Magellan. Magellan facing down Blackbeard, and Blackbeard wins. What? You all know that. And Blackbeard manages to escape. Meanwhile, Magellan starts starts coming after them like some sort of freaking awesome, Jason Voorhees figure. Unstoppable. Untamable. And every one of Luffy's newfound Nakama are falling down by the wayside as they proceed to make their way up towards the higher level of Impel Down. One more chapter, and then we can get to the White Beetle War arc tomorrow. And just to prove that I definitely do know the story of One Piece outwards and backwards, I'm not even looking at the screen right now. I know you can't see it, but my eyes are closed. Buggy, Mr. 3, and I think maybe Trixie. I'm not completely sure. Trixie has had zero impact on the whole entire scenario, which, of course, is insulting to Trixie. Can Trixie quit and work on some Fall of Starfleet now? No, Trixie, you cannot. Oh. Are trying to find their way to get past the freaking poison door because Magellan made sure that in order to make sure nobody got through it, he would encase the door in poison. The only thing that's stopping them from getting killed is Mr. Trace's wax no me. Luckily, Trixie, Buggy start forming a plan. So Buggy does the only thing he can do. He starts yelling, screaming, ranting, and raving. This actually has the effect he did not intend. While it's doing nothing to the wax frozen poison, it is encouraging the soldiers that have followed him and the people who have been broken out to think that he's some sort of badass pirate using the sheer force of his will to tear down that wall. And it does. Why does it? Well, let's turn back the clock. Buggy, Luffy, Inazuma, Jinbei, Crocodile, Chrysalis, and I'm skipping somebody? Look at that later. Make their way up to level 2. Make their way up to level 3. The desert. However, before Inazuma can make his way up there, he gets taken out by Magellan. This leads Iva to take on Magellan alone. However, even Iva can't handle Magellan, and when they make their way up to level 2 Beast Tail, Magellan throws Iva's beaten body to them. So Jinbei has no recourse but to carry both Inazuma and Iva with him. Meanwhile, Luffy tries to challenge Magellan, but everybody reminds him that it's foolhardy. So they make their way up, and wouldn't you know it, that little explosion? Yeah, that was Luffy breaking down the wall. So everybody makes their way up to the final level, back up to level 1, and makes their way onto the ship. However, they forgot one little thing. One little problem to their escape plan. The gates. Magellan thinks he finally has them. But when you know it, the gates start opening. Why? Because Magellan told them to. Oh, no, not the real Magellan. Yeah, you might have noticed I missed somebody when I was giving you the list of escapees. Let's go over this again in case you missed it. Crocodile, Luffy, Iva, Izuma, Chrysalis, and Mr. One. Yeah, Bonnie's missing, isn't he? Yeah, Bon Clay used his changeling powers to sneak into the guard room and force the doors open. Which leads to one of the sadder moments of One Piece. Bon Clay faces down Magellan, alone. Seeing that he's cornered, but Bon Clay gives one final heartfelt message to Straw Hat, telling him goodbye. And then Bon Clay faces down Magellan with the heart and the pure raw viscosity of man! Well, as manly as Bon Clay can get. We all know Bon Clay loses, but 2 years later we find out that Bon Clay has taken over level 5.5, leaving our Straw Hats to travel into the ocean, straight on towards Whitebeard War. Meanwhile, Blackbeard has been breaking everybody and his dog out of level 6. We're talking about all the big guys. Every single evil person you can imagine. And who is it amongst those people that Blackbeard broke out? Who is it that's there that Blackbeard decided to assist getting out and forcing to attack?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Don't worry, people. We'll be right back tomorrow with the normal stuff. Because finally, we'll be getting to something original!